In this exercise, I'm coming in as one of the experts. In fact, for the panel that is reviewing the National Council for Higher Education in Namibia, I am the secretary of the panel. So I have that role as being a member of the review panel. Yeah, I think that for me, this is a very important process. I think if we pick it up from Africa Agenda 2063, there is a big agenda for harmonization of African education quality systems and the education process as a whole, particularly in relation to higher education, to foster, intra-Africa mobility in terms of labor and students. But for us to do that, we must have strong quality assurance agencies at national level. And in that regard, we need to ensure that these quality assurance systems have harmonized systems and standards, particularly harmonizing to the African standards and guidelines for quality assurance. So for me, this is a very important process for kickstarting the harmonization process, because once we review an agency, we're able to learn about their systems, we're able to learn in terms of how aligned their systems are to the Africa standards and guidelines, and what we can do to ensure that there's compliancy and to strengthen the systems at national level for us to achieve what we want to achieve towards the Africa Agenda 2063. When you look at the Africa standards and guidelines for quality assurance, whether you are focusing on higher education institutions like Part A is, or you are focusing on quality assurance agencies, those standards reflect our aspirations as Africans in terms of the type and quality of higher education that we actually want. And it's extremely important that if we are talking about harmonizing our higher education system, we must start, first of all, by defining a common set of standards that our education system can aspire to. So I see that as really very critical to the development of higher education in Africa and harmonizing of our system. The quality assurance agencies in our continent, in various countries. For me, this is a very, very important process, not just for the purposes of harmonizing our quality assurance systems, but also for the purposes of making sure that we build robust and strong external quality assurance systems in Africa that serve our purposes. I think that what this does is that, it exposes our agencies and systems up for review with the purpose of finding ways on how we can strengthen them and also align them to continental aspirations. So there are good practices that you end up learning, and once you get feedback from reviewers, such as this panel that is working here in Namibia, it provides an opportunity to just strengthen and improve the quality assurance system in the country.